Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Leah Chang. I'm your host, Leah Chang. Today I'm with Howard Ho, who has a new musical called Sing Truth to Power. His partner, Julie Lee, is directing. It's going to be at La MaMa on Wednesday, June 17th at 7:30.
Well, this musical came out of an idea I had for a joke, which is why why are so many evil things happening in the world? It must be because the people in charge want things to get worse. Usually we imagine that they want it to go their way. Like maybe they don't want things worse, but they want it to go their way, and by that fact, it gets worse. But I was like, no, actually, what if they like actively want it to get worse? And the reason why is because they're just fans of science fiction,
Mm,
fans of seeing these dystopian worlds of
mm,
climate disaster, the oceans drying up
right.
and civilization breaking down. And I just thought, like, they're such big fans of science fiction that they are actively trying to turn the world into a sci-fi novel. And
Ah.
so there's a whole song in the show about that, and it's really funny, but also disturbing at the same time. And I think that it just, to me, it was like the only way I could square those two facts of like people wanting to make the world worse and yet doing it in such a sort of gleeful way as if they're doing something good. About a K-pop star who sings anthems against an evil dictator, except she finds out that the evil dictator is her biggest fan and is bankrolling her entire career, and now she's complicit in his tyranny.
So this is you actually wrote this originally as part of Prospect's new musicals, 10-minute musicals, right?
Right.
And now you've expanded it. What is the festival that it's playing at?
Yes. So it's at the Downtown Urban Arts Festival. It's takes place over about 2 weeks at La Mama, and it's a wonderful group that they just have all these diverse plays and musicals, and each night you're paired with another work, and so I'm being paired with another musical,
Okay.
and so my work is about a dictator. The other work we're paired with is about the end of the world and like the climate crisis. And so it's just kind of interesting to be in conversation with similar themes of kind of despair and dystopian visions. Except mine is also comedic and K-pop, so you can't help but be a little bit more, just have a little bit of that sparkle. And the reason for the dystopia is kind of different and odder than you've probably ever seen. It's not only dark; it's like dark, but also with a smile, which makes it even more evil in a way. So we have a big like sort of charm number in the sort of tradition of Disney, or musical theater charm numbers for the villain, except it's about being a dictator. And so just imagine if Trump had his "I Want" song, Uh,
And can you tell me about your cast?
yeah, so the cast, it's amazing cast. Julia Kim Caldwell plays the K-pop star, and she is also the star, the lead and star of Gangnam Project, which you can watch on Netflix about a K-pop star. So it's just like perfect casting. Just she's a young talent waiting to be, fully known by more people. Austin Koo, who I've seen for many years on stage, but I've really worked with him more as a director. He's directed a couple of my pieces, and he'll be starring in this as the sort of manager A&R executive who's helping the K-pop star. And Ben Langhorst plays the dictator, and he was last seen in Chinese
So
Republicans,
funny in Chinese Republicans.
where he was, fluent in Mandarin and Cantonese. He's not speaking a foreign language or a Asian language in my
Right.
piece this time, but he's just so talented. He could do everything, including sing, and he's also a composer. So I kind of like lucked out getting obvious. So my partner Julie Lee was in Chinese Republicans with him.
This is not the first time that you have dabbled in the sci-fi world.
Right. Yeah. So as you see, I'm wearing my Reset T-shirt. So I did write a full-length play called Reset that was produced in LA. and that was about a quantum physics experiment that where there's like time travel involved in it, and somebody talking to their future self, which is really fun to talk. Again, that was also about a dictatorship. And then I did another play which you covered, called Beethoven's Third,
Yeah.
which was about
Which was so good, and that's where you won at the
I won at the Samuel French off Broadway Short Play Festival,
and got published.
which means I got published by Samuel French. So it's amazing. But really, that was a play that takes place about like 300 years into the future, about how there's Beethoven clones who are forced by trillionaires. When I wrote that originally, we didn't have a trillionaire yet, and
Now we do.
And now we do. So, I feel in a weird way that when you write about these evil things or things that are so outlandish, that reality just has a way of catching up. But yeah, so these Beethoven clones are forced to like compose new works, and it sort of asks the question like, how come we can't just have composers today writing new works that represent the voices of today?
And that is actually something that speaks to what you do.
I'm also a composer. I'm actually a musicologist as well, and so I could draw a lot upon Beethoven's life story and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm a composer, and I ask myself that question and say, well, how come the voices of today, we're forced to sound like things similar to the past, and how come we can't just say the things we want to say about today that sound different? And so in Sing Truth to Power, I use K-pop as a sort of musical language. But as we all know, there's a K-pop musical on Broadway, and maybe it was a little too early for the audience. Just before its time. I mean, it was a wonderful show. My partner Julie was in it, and I saw it 18 times. So it's just like I was in love with it. But at the same time, you can see how the audience, maybe it's like too much of a departure for marketing to fully integrate with what the audience expects. But at the same time, you look at now, K-pop Demon Hunters is a worldwide sensation,
Right.
the most watched movie on Netflix, and you go, well, maybe it just took a couple more years for people to acclimate and be like, oh yeah, this is valid and this is something that we want to see. So the march of time goes on, whether gatekeepers want it to or not. And it's through the Downtown Urban Arts Festival, where you can go to duafnyc.com for tickets.
And have you ever been part of this festival before?
I've never been part of this festival. It's been going on for a while.
Okay.
A lot of really cool names have gone through it. The founder of it is Reggie Gaines, who
I know. Yeah, I know.
You know Reggie, of course. Yeah, who bring in the noise, bring in the funk. And I met with Reggie, and he's just like such a force of nature, just like
Cool.
A personality.
Somebody who is of like mind for you.
Absolutely.
Yay!
And Reggie Gaines, read my piece and said, "This is such a great idea." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, this what high praise from this legend. So
cool. So come on down to La MaMa on Wednesday, June 17th at 7:30 to see
Sing Truth to Power by me, Howard Ho.
Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Leah Chang. Until next time.